Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at VECHAIN. Before we jump into the analysis, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Okay, so we're talking about a few things the last time we visited VECHAIN, and we're talking about the possibility we could actually have completed into here, which could have led us to a push to the upside. And we were talking about this being a flat, and we came right down into this zone, and then we started to move away like we anticipated. So let us know in the comment section whether you managed to take advantage of this this low point here. Okay, so from this point, effectively, what we were looking at is a couple of things. We were looking for some potential of extension from further back here, as well as the fact that this could actually be starting a new leg to the upside here. The thing that with this structure, as you can see, it is sort of contracting in the way that it's moving up here. So it's leading me to think that we have a diagonal within this. It doesn't mean the whole thing is a diagonal. It could be just the fact that we have a fifth wave diagonal within the end bit here. But so we're going to go over that count. And effectively, we could be looking at a bigger move as an ABC pattern, or alternatively a bigger trending move. So we're going to go through a couple of these now. So what we were talking about, and this was something that I wasn't as confident on when we were back here, just because of the fact that I didn't think that I thought it was going to come down lower than this, but it actually came back into this box zone. And what we were looking for, we still haven't managed to actually get up to this 03319, and that would be confirmation. Well, it would be a typical third wave area. We'd only really get confirmation by forming this additional fourth wave to the downside and this fifth wave to the upside. Though if we do push up to this 3319, then I'd be looking for the fourth wave to actually form here, and looking for that evidence. So the fourth wave would actually tend to form up to this 382 to this 0.50. So this is a zone we could actually look into if we do continue to push to the upside here and look to push up in this bigger structure. So this 2843 to this 2710, potentially coming back and retesting this previous structure here. That'd be an interesting zone to keep an eye on. Alternatively, the 382 is this bottom over here. So it's something to keep an eye on if we do actually move up here. We don't have confirmation of this yet, and the structure here is not ideal for looking at a third wave, unless we have that diagonal in the end here, which is fine. So we'll have to see if we actually manage to push up towards this 3319 zone. If we do, like I said, we'll be looking for that support and additional push up, and then the potential to actually have an additional leg to the upside and this additional fifth wave here. Though what we'd want to see is actually confirmation first to this 5-wave move, and then to see whether we actually get a additional fourth and fifth wave. So we've got to be a little bit careful with this one, because we can also count this differently. So basically within this, what we would be looking for is the potential as well that we could just look at this as an ABC. So at the ABC, would actually look to potentially target out. I don't have the one-to-one on here. Let me just throw that on here. We go up into this high, down into this low. So 1-to-1 would actually be up here at this 3619, and this is quite an interesting area, partly because of the fact, if I come back out here onto the 4-hourly, we can see that this would actually be moving past some of these swing highs here. So this could be a little bit of an interesting zone. We have already come up to this 786 though, so we need to just be aware that these C waves can fall short as well. So if we do actually fail to actually push up to this 1-to-1, it could be possible that we find rejection at this 786 or this 854, which would be this 3368 and this 3257. So we can see here that this just above this 854 would be the swing high. So that would be an interesting zone if we do actually push up here a little bit more, and to see whether we then actually get the additional fourth and fifths that we talked about in this option. If we fail to hold the fourth wave areas and we actually look to break down much deeper here, effectively what we could be setting up for is either looking at this as a 1-2, this is a 1 and then another 2, and then looking for a bigger impulse, or alternatively this could just be a corrective movement and we could actually still break to the downside. So we need to just be aware of this fact that this can still break down. We have invalidated that possibility of looking at this as a ending diagonal here, where we're looking for that expanding diagonal, because we've actually come and broken this high point here. but we haven't taken this high yet either. So, you know, we need to just be a little bit careful. We can still argue that for as long as we stay below this point, we could still see this play out as a triangle potentially, or alternatively, we could just see this be a WXY, and then we have continuation to the downside again. So there's a couple of options within this structure. We can also potentially look to try and count this as a fifth wave, in which case we could say that this was a flat correction here for a fourth wave. So, you know, there is still some options on the table. What I'd want to see is if we're going to try and count this as a five wave structure, I want to see a deep retracement finding support, or alternatively, if we're going to look at this as a 1-2-1-2, we'd want to hold this low here of this 22-1-2, and then we'd be looking for a retracement to the downside afterwards. So we're going to go over all of these things within the structures. But this is just, we need to just be careful, because this could just be a corrective structure to the upside, and we could actually still look to break down and take out these lows. So just need to bear that in mind. Okay, so we've done this. Which was the other option? Bear with me 1 second. We've done the bigger extension here, and so this is what I'm looking out for on the bigger scale here. The possibility that we could actually see something like this play out, where we have a bigger third wave here that would actually be looking to target up much higher towards this 04931. But it would, in my opinion, I don't think it would go directly there. What I think we would see here is this move to play out like this as a five wave structure completed. We'd actually get a retracement down, and then we'd look for that additional push to the upside, looking for that five wave structure, something like this. So I would still be looking for that potential to actually come back down and retest some of these zones, potentially these highs at that 50%. And the 618 would actually be looking at retesting these lower highs here. And then the 786 would actually be looking to retest some of this support that we found within this zone. So this could be an interesting zone if we do start to break down here. So what we'd be looking for here is effectively the possibility of getting this to break down again for an additional 1-2 here, and then looking for that progression to the upside. This move is quite steep at the moment. If the only way that we can counter without looking at it as a diagonal would be to actually say that we could be looking at the potential that basically within this structure we could have a series of 1s and 2s which could start to explode to the upside here. But yeah, it's too early to say. It makes more sense with the overlap that it's a diagonal, especially this bit here. So we're going to go over that count now. So we've got two ways we can look at this move to the upside. So we can either count this like this, where actually what we're looking at is that this is a 1, 2, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then we're going to get an additional fourth into this zone. So if we get only a shallower retracement, which actually comes back and retests us to 0297 to this 02818, then potentially we could still be looking to set up for an additional fifth to the upside here. If we do get this push to the upside in this way and with this bigger retracement here, what we'd be looking for is potentially moving up towards this 03537 to this 3352 zone. So this would be looking for that push to the upside after a retracement to the downside. Then we'd look for this push up. The alternative to this is counting this, like I said, as a diagonal, where what we would be looking at within the structure rather then is actually that we are looking rather at this move in this manner, which would be basically looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this would be wave 1 of 5 as the diagonal. A B wave retracement. We'd be looking for this potentially as the wave 3. We'd look for a fourth wave again and a fifth wave to the downsides, to the upside. So what we'd be looking for is basically to come back and actually retest. It doesn't have to retest this channel line, but this would make it neater. What I'm looking at is within this structure here, this seems to subdivide more into a 3-wave move than a 5. So what I'm anticipating, if we are looking at this as a diagonal, would be to see a three-wave structure develop to the downside, and then I would be looking for this to play out as an ABC pattern to the downside like this, looking for that continuation to the upside. So invalidation of this would actually come by crossing this low. So if we cross below this 2831, that would invalidate the potential of having this as a diagonal, and it would invalidate that additional leg to the upside in a three-wave structure here to complete. If we do actually move down towards this low, then we would be looking at those fourth wave targets that we talked about, and potentially looking to come back towards that zone of that 382 or that 50%, which would be here at this 2803 to this. Let me just make sure I'm on the top here. I am. Okay. To this 2679. So we can see there's some confluence between structure here. That 382 would be right in this zone with this 50% of this previous fourth wave here, if that's the case. So, well, yeah, I mean, we can need to give it a bit of space to see how this comes down here. If, however, this does start to continue to the upside, like I said, we need to just bear in mind that more bullish option where we could actually be looking to push much higher here, with this being a either 1-2 here and an additional 1-2, and then we're starting this as a third wave of a third wave. But the subdivisions are very difficult to count at the moment, and like I said, you know, my best guess at the moment is actually that we're forming a diagonal. If this starts to just sort of break out here and get much steeper, then we'd have to start looking at that possibility that maybe we do have the extension from further back here, where this becomes a 1-2. We get that 3, 4, and a 5, and then we actually look to push up higher. So that's what we're going to be looking out for within this structure. The key to whether this becomes a bigger structure or not will be actually on the breakdown. If we fail to actually hold support on the retracement, what we'd be looking for basically, where is it? Is this support zone here. If we do start to break down and we actually lose this zone of this 2831 and this alternative zone here of this 2688, what I would be looking for is this support box here. If we manage to hold this zone and actually stay above this area here of this 2212, this could be potentially a good setup for a long position, depending on how we move down here as well. If we move down here in a bigger 5-wave structure, something like this, then it would be the setup wouldn't be as great. So, you know, it needs to come down in a 3-wave move into this zone, and then potentially it could be a good setup for looking for another leg to the upside. However, like I said, we also need to just be careful that this isn't a completed A, B, and a C to the upside, and then we actually look to break down one more time. So, you know, there is a little bit, there are still some possibilities of that downward price action coming in. So we need to be a little bit careful, especially if we're looking at BTC and we are arguing that potentially we could be within a flat correction. You know, we need to just watch this move to the downside here. If we fail to hold this zone here, then the zone of this 2212, it becomes less likely that this is still part of the same move, only because of the size of this structure here. Wouldn't really fit in with the moves back here. And we'd have to then argue that, you know, if we start to lose this 2212, the structure starts to fall apart for this upside potential. Okay, so just want to come back out here onto the daily. So there's some key areas here just above us. So obviously we said this purple line of this 3387 is one of them, as well as this next zone here, which would be this 3469. So this is also quite an interesting zone because we've been rejected here, 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 and then yeah, so 3 times we've had that rejection off of there. So it is likely that if we do encounter this zone and we do push up here, that could be an area we look to get a rejection off of. Obviously we also have these swing highs here and that little bit of a resistance zone sitting right in there. So yeah, you know, we need to just see how we retrace from here. That's what I'll be looking for. If we do just continue to push up here, the waves might start to form and make more sense, where potentially we could then look at this extending out for a 5-wave move, and then we'd take this next wave back as another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then potentially obviously the this first move here, then it would start to make sense. But we don't have that structure at the moment, and we can just count it as a diagonal, so we need to be a little bit careful here. The channel line that I've got drawn here is currently sitting at this 33-32 zone, so that will also be quite an interesting area if we do move up into this zone here. So yeah, I mean, we don't have the bigger confirmation yet of this third wave, and really I think if it's going to form in a bigger structure, what's more likely would be that we actually see a little bit of a retracement here into this green box area, and then we look to push to the upside. So yeah, it's very hard with extensions to tell, so we'll just have to see how this continues to play out. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. In the description, you'll also find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just @mention member staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description below, you'll also find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account with them already. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Okay, everyone, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.